Hi everyone and welcome to Bedtime Stories. I'm Jamilah Ghafur and you may already know we read bedtime stories just before we go to bed. So if you haven't joined us already before, hello and welcome. We are going to be reading lots of stories, interesting ones too. I have a selection for you and I also have one in mind. So thank you so much for joining me and assalamu alaikum. And do we know what we have to do? If you've been watching, you should already know. That's correct. Have we brushed our teeth? And are we cozy in our pajamas? If you're not already, it's okay. You can do it after the story. Now, before we start, I'm going to give you a quick reminder of why reading is important. So if we read, it helps us with our long-term memory, with our short-term memory, so we can remember things, and it helps us to be clever. That's right. It helps our development. So go and get an older sibling, or if you're an older sibling, you can read with your younger sibling or your parents. Even you can just look through the pages. If you have a baby brother or sister, just looking at the pictures also activates our brain to recognize things and learn further. So let me stop talking and get ready for the story. So the book I've chosen for you today is called 101 Dalmatians. How many of us have seen the animation of this book? Have you seen it? Okay, so have I. I watched it with my children. It's very interesting, the cartoon version. So I haven't read this part of the story in the book. So let's find out what the story version is like, if it's similar to the animation, the cartoon, or is it different? Let's find out. 101 Dalmatians. How many of you like puppies? They're so cute. Roger Radcliffe was a musician. He lived in a little flat in London with Pongo, his Dalmatian. One day, the Pongo is the little dog, the Dalmatian dog. His name is Pongo. One day, Roger got married. Oh, how lovely. His lovely new wife was called Anita, and she had a beautiful lady Dalmatian dog called Perdita. So we've got Perdita, who is Anita's Dalmatian dog. And then we've got Pongo, who is Roger's dog. Oh, so much to remember. Okay, so where was we? Soon, Perdita was expecting her first litter of puppies. So the babies that are born from dogs are called litter. Life seemed perfect until one day an old friend of Anita's named Cruella de Vil came to visit. Perdita and Pongo were frightened of her. Where are the puppies? Cruella demanded. They're not expected for another 3 weeks, Anita replied. You must let me know when they arrive. I just adore Dalmatian puppies. Their coats are so beautiful. And with that, Cruella swept out the house in a flurry. Do you think Cruella sounds like a good person or a baddie? I think she sounds like a baddie. 3 weeks later, Perdita and Pongo became the proud parents of 15 puppies. Roger, Anita, and Nanny, the housekeeper, were delighted. They were so happy. The very next day, Cruella returned. 15 puppies. She was so excited. I will buy them all, said Cruella. Oh, no, you won't, said Roger. They're not for sale. You fools. You'll be sorry, said Cruella, storming out the house. She was very, very cross because she wanted to buy all the puppies. But Roger didn't want to sell his puppies. One night soon after, Corella's working men, Horace and Jasper Baden, lay in wait for dognapping the puppies. It's a bit like kidnapping, but it's when they try to take the dogs away. They call it dognapping. They sat in their van and waited for Roger and Anita to take Perdita and Pongo for their evening walk. Oops. Once the coast was clear, the Badens forced their way into the house. When Nanny tried to stop them, the Badens locked her up in the cupboard. By the time Nanny managed to escape, the Badens were gone and so were the puppies. Oh no! Nanny couldn't stop them from breaking into the house and puppy-napping the puppies. The police immediately launched an investigation. But as the days went by, the puppies were still not found. At last, Pongo said to Perdita, "The humans aren't getting anywhere." The dogs decided they will go and find their puppies themselves. Pongo decided to try the twilight bark. This was the quickest way for dogs to send and receive new messages in the country. Well, that's very clever, isn't it? How dogs can send and receive messages. That evening, when the two Dalmatians were taken for their walk, Pongo barked the alert. 3 loud barks and a howl from the prime rose hill. After a moment, an answering bark was received. "It's the Great Dane of Hampstead," Pongo said to Perdita, and he barked out his message. It's so amazing, subhanAllah. Allah has made animals with a special voice and a special sound that they can make to each other and they can understand. It's like when we speak, we're talking, we have speech. They don't. They have a noise like barking, and that barking can be understood by other dogs. So that's absolutely amazing. Danny the Great was very surprised by the message. 15 Dalmatian puppies have been stolen, he told a terrier friend. The humans haven't been able to find them, so it's up to us. We need to help. So it's up to us. Let's alert everyone by the twilight bark. Danny's deep, deep voice began to send the news all over London. The 2 mongrels heard the alert. One said, "I think we should let the rest of the country know." And so within the hour, word had spread north, south, east, west, and all over England. Before too long, the twilight bark reached an old sheepdog called Colonel. The old sheepdog, Colonel, lived in a farm. Colonel's friend, a horse named Captain, and a cat named Tibbs, listened too. They were all very surprised to hear that 15 puppies had been stolen. Everybody was sad to hear that news. Have you ever had any kittens or puppies? Imagine if your puppies or your kittens got stolen. How would that make you feel? I think I would be very sad, and I would like people to help me find my lost kittens or puppies. Should we find out what happens next? Okay. "That's funny," Tibbs said to Captain and to Colonel. "I heard puppies barking over at the old DeVille house last night, but no one lives there now," said Colonel. "We must go and see what's going on." So Colonel and Tibbs went quietly to the house and peered through the broken window. Inside the house, Horace and Jasper Baden were eating They were relaxing, they had the TV on, and all around the room there were puppies. There were so many puppies. 15, not 50, but 99. That's nearly 100 puppies. It's just one less. Colonel quickly returned to Captain's stable and loudly barked the good news. Within no time at all, the twilight bark sent the message all over London that the puppies had been found. It finally reached the ears of Perdita and Pongo. They set off across the snowy countryside as fast as they could to rescue their little puppies. Meanwhile, Sergeant Tibbs was keeping a watch on the house when he saw Cruella drive up to the front door, and he was looking through the broken window and hearing what was happening. Cruella was ordering the Badhams to get rid of the puppies for good, to take them away forever and use their skin to make fur coats. I'll be back first thing in the morning. With a warning hanging in the air, she left the room and she was gone. That's not a very nice thing that Cruella said. Let's find out what happens next to the puppies. Tibbs was very, very scared. He was horrified. Fur coats from puppy skin? What a terrible thought. There wasn't a moment to lose. As soon as the Badhams began watching television again, Tibbs crept through the broken window and whispered to the nearest puppy, "Tell everyone they must escape. They must escape. Cruella is after your coats." When all the puppies had been alerted, Tibbs led them to a hiding place. What a clever little cat Tibbs is. We had a cat once. She was lovely. Her name was Lucy. As soon as the Badhams discovered that the puppies had gone, they searched all over the house and eventually found them cowering under the staircase, hiding away. Tibbs was in front, ready to protect them from the Badhams. What a strong cat Tibbs was, not afraid at all. Meanwhile, Colonel had met up with Perdita and Pongo and led them to the DeVille house. The DeVille house, that sounds quite scary. They arrived just in time and quickly got into action. Perdita attacked Horace Badden, while Pongo tore at Jasper Badden's trousers. Oh dear, looks like the baddies didn't get away, did they? Look at them. Oh dear. Under cover of the fight, Tibbs led the puppies out of the house to the safety of the captain's stable. Now remember, captain was the horse. So they were led to safety in the stable where the horsey lives, where the horsey stays. I'm so glad that Horace Badden and Pongo and Jasper Badden were attacked by Pongo. Look at them. See? Well done, doggies. Now, leaving the Baddens in a heap on the floor, Perdita and Pongo, these are the dogs, dashed after their puppies. "Are our 15 all here?" asked Perdita anxiously. "You're 15 and a few more," replied Captain. "There are you ready? Can you remember how many there were?" 99. 99, said Pongo, astonished. Whatever did Cruella want with 99 puppies? There was silence for a moment. Then one little puppy said, she was going to make fur coats out of us. Perdita and Pongo looked at each other. They looked at each other in horror because they were scared when they heard what Cruella was really up to. They never had heard of anything so evil. We'll just have to take them all back to London with us, said Perdita. I'm sure Roger and Anita will look after them. Roger and Anita are the lovely couple who look after them. Perdita, Pongo and the puppies all set back off to London, leaving a trail of paw prints in the snow. Cruella, who had returned for the puppy coats, quickly spotted the paw prints, and the chase began. Eventually, after trudging across the cold countryside, Perdita and Pongo led the tired puppies to the shelter of a blacksmith shop. Cruella and the Baddens were still on their trail, determined to catch them. Suddenly, Pongo had an idea. He made all the puppies roll in some soot until they all looked black, like black Labradors, so they could be disguised. And then they all managed to get home safely with their mummy and their daddies. Thank you so much for watching Bedtime Stories with me. I'm Jamilah Ghafur, and I will see you again soon, inshallah. Don't forget to brush your teeth and get comfy in your pajamas. And I will see you again soon. Thank you. Bye. Assalamu alaikum.